Hey, DJ here, and I'm going to show you how I made this camera rig for about $45. But before we get started, I just wanted to start out by saying I've been watching a lot of DIY videos, and I'm not going to say that this is a perfectly original design, but for the most part I did come up with a lot of the different components that I did to change what I had already seen on YouTube. I took this wooden board idea from a guy named FinalCutKing, and I watched it off of IndyMogul's YouTube channel. So, you know, the design started off by using that first block here, and then the rest of it I kind of modified because I wasn't used to the hand style setup that they had on that stabilizer. So this camera rig here is more of a rig rather than a camera stabilizer like what FinalCutKing had first came up with in his IndyMogul video. For this rig, I decided to make it look kind of cool and also be very easy to be handheld and get you those nice shots. So without further ado, let's get started. So jumping right into it, I'm just going to start off by saying I'm not going to take it apart only because it was a little tricky just making everything fit like this to be perfectly aligned and everything the way that it is right now. So it's not hard to do at all. The difficulty level, as I said at the beginning, is pretty much easy. It's just I like the way it is, so I don't want to mess it up too much. So just to start off, this is all steel piping, or you can call it galvanized steel, whatever you want to really call it, and that was the original idea that FinalCutKing from IndyMogul had said. So the only difference is I took it and taped my steel piping. As you can see here, I taped this with electrical tape. So that's an additional thing that you can do. You don't have to, it's just I wanted it to look better and more professional. Because at first glance, this doesn't really seem like it was DIY, but it really was. This right here is the 1/2 inch, 10 inch long steel piping. And then in the middle, I use the 1/2 inch, 8 inch long steel piping because it would have been too long if I did it the other way around. So I put the 8 inches down below, connecting into this T connector. So what you're going to need for the pieces, you're going to need an elbow connector, a T connector, another elbow connector, and then on the bottom of this wooden piece, I'm going to screw this off for y'all so you can see it. Let me show you individually what you will need with this project. So what you're going to need starting off are 2 1/2 inch, 10 inch long steel pipes. And then also you're going to need 2 8 inch long steel pipes. And then in the middle here I have I believe this is a 6 inch long. If it's not 6 inches, it might be 4 or 5 inches. But either way, you just need a shorter length steel pipe so that you can put your camera here in the middle. And then as far as connectors go, you need to have a T, a 1/2 inch T. Everything is 1/2 inch here. A 1/2 inch elbow connector, and then as well as another 1/2 inch elbow connector. That's what allows the handles to go upwards like this. As far as the caps go, I just use standard rubber chair leg cap. So you can buy these from Walmart. I got these from Walmart, and I think it was just $2 for a pack of 4. So I used 2 of these on the ends, and it just popped right on here to the steel. You need to also have the a 2.5 pound weight. You can get 2 pounds or 1 pound if you want. It just depends on where you go. I went to Walmart and this was $2 for one. I bought 2, but I have this is $2 for one, I believe. You need a weight, and then you also need to have a block of wood. I happened to spray paint my wood so that it would match the look of the rig and be more professional. This is a 1 1/8 inch block of wood. They make you, I bought it from Home Depot. Home Depot makes you buy the whole plank, so it was actually 8 feet long, and Home Depot cuts your wood for you for free. So they cut it for me, and then I sanded it down and I spray painted it. But before I did that, I put the metal flange on it. So see, you need a metal flange here, 1/2 inch inside, just like the piping, because this is where the rig is going to screw into it on the bottom here. You just get your standard screws here. It doesn't really matter the size. You need 3 screws that go in to the flange, and you're going to leave 1 screw open. Now you're going to drill a hole a 1/4 inch with a 1/4 inch drill bit. You're going to drill it through the 4th hole. It doesn't matter which one you want to use as long as it's on the long side of the wooden plank. You're going to drill a hole in there. But you're going to end up drilling another one if you're using a DSLR, and this video is probably going to be going to a lot of people who are using DSLRs, but if you're using a smaller digital consumer-like camera, you can use the one that's in the metal flange. Now if you look on the top here of the wood block, you also have the 2 holes here as well, because you drilled all the way through with your 1/4 inch drill bit. So that's what I have here. The holes are right here. One is in the middle, that's the metal flange, and then you have to do math and come up with a configuration for where your DSLR camera might actually fit on the wooden block. Mine happened to fit perfectly on here. You want it to be as perfect as possible, and also you want it to be back. You want the body of your camera to be towards the back of the wood, not all the way back. Mine sits like this, because then you have your lens that will come off this way. This is what your camera sits on, and it also depends on the weight of your camera, what kind of lenses you use, because then that's all going to be a part of the balancing act with this rig. So without further ado, let's put it together here. So you just drop the weight on it here. You just drop your weight, and then you take the rig, and you take the block of wood, and then you just screw it on. So then you just screw it on here, and then boom, it's facing the way I want it. Everything is fitting on here, perfect. And then you just sit your camera right there on the top. Okay, so now this is how you're going to get the camera to actually fit on the wooden block. I found out that the easiest way to get your 1/4 inch screw, because this is the only way that you're going to get normal standard DSLRs to go onto this wooden block, as well as any other tripod. So I took the easiest way for me was to take a 1/4 inch thumb screw. It's a machine bolt, and this is the best one to get because you can turn it. You see how this works? You want it to be able to turn inside of the wood so that you can connect it to the camera. And now since I had a 1 1/8 inch wooden block of wood, I needed a little bit of extra space for the top of the block of wood to go into the camera, as well as some on the bottom to be able to turn it. And the way I do it is I put the 1/4 inch thumb screw through the washer, because you need the washer so that on the bottom of the wood here it won't get messed up because of the metal screw pushing up into it. I take the bolt first, you're going to take the nut and you're going to screw that onto this thumb screw here all the way down, put the nut on there, and then you're going to put the washer on top of that, and this is going to give you the exact height for my setup, the exact height that I needed in order for this to go through the wood at the bottom here and fit enough into my camera. I don't know if y'all can see that. There's the screw at the top there. That's where your camera is going to go. And then I can just screw it. I can turn it. I can just turn this. You see how that works? And then it'll fit nicely onto this block of wood with the camera. Now, unfortunately, I don't have 2 DSLR cameras. I'm recording with the DSLR right now. So if you give me a second, I'll be able to show y'all what this setup looks like with the camera on the top using my smartphone, and then I'll be right back. So just like I was saying earlier, guys, this is being shot on my Galaxy S6 Edge Android smartphone. You know, I had to change up on the cameras because I only have 1 DSLR camera right now. So, you know, just so y'all can see how this looks when it's on the rig. And it's actually very stable. I'm shaking the camera right now. It's not going anywhere. You know, I paid for this camera, well really my mom paid for it, you know, so I wouldn't want to break this camera. So, you know, I'm doing all these things with it. I have my LED light on the top of the camera. Everything is just fine on this camera rig. But just so y'all can get a better view, I went ahead and put it down, and you know, I'm just going across this so you can get a look at what it looks like up close with the camera on it. There's the thumb screw like I was saying earlier. You know, it's right there with the nut on it and the washer. And then here we go, my Nikon camera. Yes, I am a Nikon user. I will get into Canons at some point, but for now, I like the way Nikons work. and they're also a little bit more affordable. And hey, what's this video about? Making DIY things. And what are DIY things usually? More affordable. Now, another trick that I had for this camera rig setup is if you take the bolt off of the thumb screw and then you put the washer back on there, you can push this through the wood. This is how you'll make it to where it doesn't fall out of the wood when you don't have your camera on there and you're traveling. So you put the screw down there on the bottom with the washer, and then you take the nut and you screw that to the top of the rig, to the top of this block of wood, and now the screw isn't going to go anywhere. A lot of people have been making these rigs online, and their screw always falls out of what they're making, and this is how I figured out how to stop it from actually falling out. Using these nuts in the way that using the setup that I just showed you all was the best way to make it fit into your cameras. I made two different setups using this. I made this one, and I also made a stabilizer version, which looks like this. So with this one, you can just put the wood on the top here. Now, as I said, it's interchangeable. You take the wood base off, because it just twists right off of there, and you can twist it onto this one, and then now you'll have a stabilizer. The only thing is you'll need to get these curved steel pipes. And the way I did this one is, if you go into Home Depot or any other store that sells shower piping, with the shower pipe, this is actually a shower pipe. So if you look up you take a shower and you look up into your shower nozzle, your shower head, you'll see that it's stuck onto a metal pipe that looks just like this, a steel pipe. So I just used those. I have two of them on here. One is on the bottom and one is for the handle down here. So that's how I made this setup. And boom, there you go. That was a nice DIY camera stabilizer for around $45, and it's very stable, made out of steel, not PVC piping. Not throwing any shots or anything, just saying that this one will be a lot sturdier and it'll last a long time and it'll get you very stable shots. Now, I will post another video that'll show how great of footage that this camera rig can get you, with maybe a little bit of assistance from Warp Stabilizer and Adobe Premiere. But if not, I'm pretty sure this will still get you very nice shots. It's just like any other camera rig, except it's made out of steel, and it's DIY and made by you. So once again, thanks for watching my channel, and hopefully you'll comment, subscribe, and like this video if you felt like it was helpful or useful. And I will be coming out with more videos, as much as I can. I'm in college and I'm almost done, so I'll be doing videos whenever I get the chance. But if you all like this video, be sure to come back to see the stabilizer that I'm most likely going to make with some tools that I saw in the Home Depot. Then I thought it was come out with a very nice camera stabilizer. So once again, thanks for watching this video, guys. See you next time.